Welcome to Buses, Benches, and Baseball, presented by DimTroduction.
Who? Never heard of him.
Who's this guy?
It's not real!
Now here is your host, Tim Dillard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the world's #1 most unneeded minor league baseball podcast in the world. It's Buses, Benches, and Baseball. And I'm your host, Tim Dillard. If you are in search of baseball stories of the minor league variety and want to learn more about the game of baseball, then you have found the perfect show. And if that's not what you're looking for, and you're here by mistake, then why not just stick around anyway, just to be certain that you're in the wrong place. But we have a great episode lined up. It's got a lot of fun videos included in it. You may want to check it out. The whole show is on YouTube if you're not already there, because my guest, Nate Orff, starred in dozens of my fun, ridiculous Clubhouse videos back in the day where we reenact songs and commercials, movies, TV shows, etc., etc. So please, maybe go to YouTube and search Dim Tillard to watch all those shenanigans.
You mean shenanigans? Oh! You're talking about shenanigans, right?
Well, there's a lot to get to, so let's start with this. Hi, I'm Tim Dillard. You may remember me from such minor league baseball teams as the Beloit Snappers, the Nashville Sounds, and of course the always intimidating Brevard County Manatees. Well, my 18 years in professional baseball would have been way shorter if my wife got her way, but I was able to stay healthy and be in shape, air quotes, thanks to two and very important things. Number one, of course, ibuprofen. I want to say thank you, ibuprofen. And also, training every offseason at D1 Sports. D1 Sports training is some of the most elite in the Northern Solar System and have helped over 100 NFL draft picks and thousands of professional, college, high school, all athletes of all shapes and sizes and ages, and with over 100 locations across the country, the next step of strength and agility could be at your fingertips. And speaking of those fingertips, use those to type in d1training.com to learn more about how D1 Sports can elevate your health.
Now it's time for Old Man Yells at Cloud.
Back in my day, we called sandwiches Flat Freddy, and they cost 4 playing cards a bite.
This segment is called Old Man Yells at Cloud because it's one of those things that's true in the baseball world, or maybe even in life world. But most players don't want to hear it or accept it or even think about it. So for this podcast, I get a lot of feedback from parents who listen to this podcast with their kids in the car, maybe going to practice or something like that, because it's a lot of practical advice for life and baseball, of course. So I came up with this segment to kind of say some things that maybe no one's ever heard of, or maybe some realizations that some of the younger generation can kind of grasp a little bit. Little food for thought, little Cracker Jacks for the soul. But yes, this is me, old man, yelling at cloud. So the other day, on my way to my 10-year-old's practice, we talked about what it takes to get the next jersey. Right now, if you're on a team and you have a jersey and you're an amateur, a lot of times you're paying for it. It's Little League, it's Park and Rec, travel team. You're paying for that jersey. Like, yeah, you got to try out, but you're paying for that jersey. But there's a time when you have to earn it. You can't buy your way on a team anymore. And eventually you get faced with the fact that one day you won't be given your next jersey. And that'll be a tough day for every player. Every player goes through it. There's no exceptions. For some, it's high school. You don't make the high school team. For some, it's college. And for a rare few, they get a jersey in pro ball. And that is an extremely hard jersey to keep. As I personally reflect on my lackluster career, one thing I can say is that I had a healthy fear of not getting the next jersey. That motivating factor of, will I be on a team tomorrow, can either scare you into anxiety where you can't move and you're afraid and all that, or it can push you and drive you into doing the work when maybe others are not. There's no shortcuts in baseball, just like life, and there's no magic elixir. There's no guru video, to simply put, for an example, if there's a shortstop that you're going up against and he fields more ground balls than you, he has a chance at getting that jersey and you don't get that jersey. So that's kind of the trade-off. How much work are you willing to put in? Want to be a good fielder, a good hitter, pitcher, outfielder? Take more reps than everyone. More grounders, more pop flies, more swings. If you want that next jersey and then the next and so on, then that takes more practice, more reps at everything, more thinking about baseball, putting your body into the baseball routine. And it could mean less of other things, like more baseball may mean less video games, or more baseball means less TV or movies, or basically less screen time. Oh, yeah, by the way, you can watch this show on YouTube.
But I'm watching Madlock! Madlock! Oh, wait, it's over.
Now it's time for a Mound visit.
Welcome to the Mound visit. My guest is former professional baseball player, former teammate, one of my favorite teammates of all time, Nate Orf. Nate, thanks for being on the show, brother.
My pleasure, Dilly. Excited to be here and just catch up, man. What a journey. Just so many stories come to mind just thinking about kind of what we're going to talk about. I'm like, here we go. So, I'd be up for an hour phone call, or this will do as well. So
I know, right?
Let's
just catching up. That's why I do this, just so I can excuse to, drag dudes out of wherever they are and reconnect. That's why I wore. Hopefully it doesn't mess up with the audio, but I'm wearing the full Sky Sox jacket that I stole. Ah!
I hear it. That I stole.
I borrowed
True.
it. The team doesn't exist anymore, so here I am.
That's true.
And
That's
I got the original beanie. So what's been going on, man?
Shoot, man, I'm just in the kind of sports performance world and doing consulting, and been up in my social media stuff lately and kind of making a push there. And I'd say for the last few years, been pushing building a kind of hitting system that kind of taking what I learned over all the years and applying it to kids and trying to help kids be a lot better than I was, and see what they can do. So it's been fun. That's kind of where I'm at now, and just rocking and rolling.
That's great. Still a part of the game, man. It never leaves. It never leaves, no matter what. I promise you that.
I tried. I gave it a hard about a year and a half out of it, and then it sucked me back in one step at a time. So now I'm full bore. Yeah.
Your story is fascinating, and we're going to get into it. And we're going to start with little baby Orf. I'm kidding. Not when you were born. But take me back to, I think I got June 14th, 2013.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a date
was?
way better than I do. I was probably hot out in Texas, tell you that much.
Yeah. You went to Baylor University?
Yeah.
After high school?
I went to UIC before that for a couple of years, and then looking back, I put up really good numbers at the time. When you're in the heat of the battle, you don't even really, kind of know what's going on, but put up a really big freshman year and then a solid sophomore year, and then went to Baylor and redshirted my first year there and trained. And that's where I met, I feel like we all have those people that we just ran across that just drastically changed the trajectory of our career. My strength guy, Rob, down there with just that. And he taught me how to move and think and conceptually just be a much better athlete and learn how to work out in the right way and just get stronger in the areas that are going to supplement athleticism. So that's where that red shirt year that all of the kids are afraid of taking now was one of the biggest years of my life, so.
Yeah. And you were a catcher, right? And then maybe some outfield. Like when we were together, I only knew you as an infielder. So definitely there was a transition there.
Yeah, you missed my transition years in early pro ball, which were something. I'll tell you, I was a catcher, a couple elbow surgeries at Baylor, and ended up playing a little outfield my last year, and I about led the Big 12 in hitting, and that's kind of how I got my foot in the door to pro ball, and then it was from day one. Bob Missick was the guy that was like, if you're gonna do this, you got a long way to go, because I was starting at ground zero on the infield. So
yeah, and that was with the Brewers. So were there scouts looking at you in college? Because you were a non-drafted.
Brian Sankey, he was the scout that took me, and he told me right away that if you're going to be a pro outfielder, you got to be this fast. He's like, you're not really that. If you're going to be a pro catcher, you got to do this. And he's like, not sure that's you. And it's like, if your way's on the infield. So jumped right in the fire. And yeah, and it was one of those years where it was like I slept good if I didn't make an error that day, where, and I'm being serious, it was something. So I started ground zero in that first off season. I knew what I had to make up. So I went straight back to Baylor right when the year ended and just got at it, and multiple times a day for the winter, and kind of set the tone for the work to be done moving forward. So that was my launch, and then I met you a couple years later.
Yeah, and you've regretted all of it since. No,
Yeah, should have just quit.
well, we had a great time, and kind of
Oh
fast
man.
forwarding a little bit. This I didn't know, and it was talking about. I wanted to get into your signing. What did the scout say to you? The Brewer scout say to you to sign you to get you into the Brewers organization, and what did you say back?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talk. I think it took them a long time to come up with a number for me. That was a big deal. So they asked if I'd sign for $1,000, and me being with my 5 years of college, understanding how to negotiate, I said I'd sign for a Snickers bar. So they brought my number down to 500, and I signed with a smile on my face. And
Did they really? They botched
they,
you $500?
yeah,
Oh,
uh,
shame.
but it's a lot of money, Tim.
Yeah, I
It's a lot
know.
of
I know.
money, and they probably couldn't afford it at the time.
Yeah.
So,
That's amazing. I remember when I heard that story in the clubhouse, it blew up. Everybody was, reading the articles and hearing your story when you got called to the big leagues. I remember we shot a video with Snickers bars because Snickers actually sent you a briefcase full of Snickers. I always thought that was amazing. That's the
yeah,
power of social media right there, folks.
and the big leagues.
And the big
So
leagues, big
I
leagues, you
was
can do anything. Yeah,
the story was there long before the Snickers came.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was a homer in the big leagues changed everything. But yeah, that was one of those things in baseball, man. It's just like it's so cool. It just doesn't happen, every day. So yeah, they get a briefcase full of Snickers, and they're like new flavors that weren't released. And yeah, what a time we shot some videos of it.
I
So
mean, in the clubhouse, a bunch of minor leaguers eating Snickers. It doesn't get much better than that.
it's a good day.
And talking about cool stories, so I didn't know this either. Which is the transition from playing a different position and then going to infield is incredible. Usually, you hear about guys like they're transitioning from somewhere else and going to the outfield, or transitioning into pitching. Like coming into the infield's a big deal. Also, let's go back to August 31st. I'm not sure the year, but you were in Brevard County in High A. And you played every position during a game. Tell me about that day.
Yeah, showed up to the field, and Skip called me in. Joe Aroff, just an
Yeah.
absolute legend, and I'm sure a lot of the people listening know who he is and know some about him. But just one of the just ultimate, baseball managers out there, and just great people in the game, and just guy lucky to run into a guy like that, right? So calls me in. He's like, "Hey, I always wanted to do this." He's like, "Are you okay with this?" And he showed me the inning 1 to 9, and he's like, "You're gonna start at catching, and you're gonna go third and short and second and first, and all this, and then end up on the mound." And the bad thing is, the worst I did was at catcher. Every sign I put down from Jorge Lopez was on the mound, but every sign I put down, we got smashed. We gave up a few, so it was kind of like, ugh. But yeah, I don't know if you know this, Tim, but I got one out on the mound before they
I
pulled
did.
me.
I did a little bit of research, baseball
Yeah,
reference.
yeah, it was a rocket. At third base, made a great play and threw him out. So, but it's an out, and we'll take
Yeah,
those.
dude, an
So,
out's an out. So the next day you get called up to Double A Huntsville. That was
yeah.
2014, right? So you get done playing every position, you get called up to Double A Huntsville because you just missed me because I was in Double A,
Oh,
and
no way.
I think I got called up like right before that to Triple A. And so we didn't cross paths there, as I was the oldest guy in Double A at the time.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, well, and then we end up being teammates later. My first introduction to you was you were an absolute grinder on the field. I called you the Orphicle. I don't know if you knew that. I just felt like
Orphicle, yeah.
you were in the right place at the right time. And you showed me a lot of stuff on like your preparedness. I remember you would do the bouncy balls against the wall. I absolutely love that. Talk to me a little bit about your preparation and stuff like that, like getting ready for a season. What are some of the things that you did that, helped jump you along?
Yeah, I think it's a lot has to do with just kind of where I was, the athlete I was, and not being a guy with power and being on a field every day with superior athletes, or guys that are taller, bigger, stronger, faster, the whole thing, right? So it's like, where am I going to get my edge, and how am I going to get in the lineup every day? And like I said, first thing was the way I worked in the off season was maybe a little different, and a little heavier than a lot of people, especially in those early years. Just pushing the details as much as I could, reading as much as I could about skill acquisition and on all that kind of stuff, and then
Wow.
just always was fascinated by different athletes and pulling from things that they did. I got the racquetball thing from a hockey goalie, one of the old Blues goalies. I saw it and I was like, boom. If I can get my eyes prepped every day and get my brain fire in and just get in the hand-eye coordination from it as well, then, I'm going to be better on the infield today. Because it was like, that first year, if I made it through without an error, it was a great day. So I think I just took it very serious, and it was life or death for me, every game, every step of the way, every year. Because you know how it is in the pro world, man. The example I learned really early was we were the best team in rookie ball, and then half of that team was released at spring training the next year, right? So
Yeah.
for me, it was just a rude awakening. Hey, this time is valuable. You better take advantage of it, and just not guaranteed anything, especially coming in on $500 check, So
Yeah, you're right. I think a lot of people out there don't know exactly how difficult the minor league life is. You can have success, and then if you don't have if you're not fitting into the spot that they think, or if they have a prospect coming up behind you, or you're right, if they invested a lot more in somebody else and maybe not as much in somebody else, and then suddenly you look up and your nameplate on your locker's gone. You're getting called into the office,
yeah,
but there's a healthy fear there. Like
100%.
if you're looking for motivation, it's like I want to stay here. Because every single day, I remember you were in the clubhouse, and thank God that Colorado Springs had a big clubhouse. But
Yeah,
I remember you
yeah.
would get these bouncy balls, and you're against the wall, and you're training your eyes, you're training your hands. I did not know you got that from a hockey goalie. I think that's really cool. The stuff you can pull out from different sports and pull it into baseball, man. That's cool right there.
It I feel like anytime you go into any of these memories, right? It pulls you in, like the struggle and the challenge of it, and then it's just like the absolute beauty of it, right? Like you bring up the Sky Sox clubhouse, and it's like, man, I mean, I don't know there's a bigger challenge in minor league baseball than playing for the Sky Sox. I did it for 3 years, I believe, and you were there,
I was
longer.
there for
I don't
four.
know when.
My carcass was
Yeah.
there for 4 full seasons. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone that hasn't done it or been a visitor team to come in and play. Guys didn't even like coming in there for a week, or a weekend and flying out. It was tough, but the reality of that clubhouse and it being big and open, and just the memories that go on in there, is just, it was an incredible time. And I mean, when I think of Colorado Springs, I'm like, I want to go back and just go hang out there. Like, it was awesome,
A good environment with good people, and had a ping pong table. My oldest, he's 16 now, and he remembers playing ping pong with everybody.
Yeah.
He beat
That was
Tyrone
awesome.
Taylor one day, and it was right in front of my locker, and I didn't care because I'd go put my shoes on for the game, and there'd be a ping pong ball on my spike.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
We
Tim,
had
how many
so much
years?
fun.
How many years did you end up playing?
Parts of 18.
18. Yeah, just
I would have
incredible.
kept going
And
too,
that's-
man. The pandemic,
Yeah.
it took a worldwide pandemic to end my
Shut
career.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's one of the things in thinking, man. I was like, just have to say this because, I mean, you were way ahead of your game with the dub smash stuff back in the day, and
Yeah.
you're such a fun person, right? And I mean, before that, I mean, looking back on YouTube way back, who was the Brewers player you I think it might have been one of your first times on MLB during spring training.
Yeah.
Niger Morgan, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, yeah,
This was 2012. It was they had me on the ESPN, right? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I guess
And,
MLB probably wasn't even a thing yet.
yeah. Well, MLB Network. I don't know if it was there or not, but yeah, they were doing the going around to every team, 30 clubs in 30 days, something like that. And Tim Kirchin was there, and then they wanted me to walk up and steal Tim Kirchin's microphone, and I was like, "What in the world?" Because I did an impersonation of Tim Kirchin.
There it is.
One of your teammates said, "We're going to be."
Excuse me.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
I was going to take over. Thanks for the microphone. Tim Kirchin, ESPN, talking with Niger Morgan here. Thanks, Aaron.
But yeah, that kind of just led, and you know this because you did it for so long, and you had the fun in the clubhouse. The baseball clubhouse is an amazing place, and you just want to hang out there. It's so much fun to be there. And then when the video platform stuff came along, I was surprised the Brewers would let me film stuff in the clubhouse. That's why you don't really see much of that anywhere, is because the Brewers, I guess, put that trust in me to be like, you're not going to show anything bad. You're not going to put anything bad out there. And I'm telling you, man, that was such a great and healthy distraction for what we were trying to do on the field, because what's on the field is very hard. So
Yep.
for us to kind of come together, and there was cards and the ping pong and stuff like that, but walking in every day and guys not knowing if they were going to be a part of a video was so much fun. And your first video might have been Limp Bizkit, right? You might have been Fred Durst.
Probably so. Which you had one of the all-time makeup jobs in that.
All right, partner. Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
In that video. And if someone doesn't understand, it goes like this. He's absolutely right that you never know if you're going up for a Dillard video, because he's got his production plan and time and all that. And he'll come up and be like, "Hey, can I get you about 10 minutes? It'll be real quick. I promise. Don't worry." He's like, "Just 10 minutes. That's it." And kind of suck you right in. And you'll be like, "Yep." And then you'll go in and walk up to you with a white face and be like, "Can you be Fred Durst? Just wear your hat." And pretty much just like, this.
You're wearing a backwards hat right now, but you'd wear the red one back, and you had that little goatee, and I was like, that you were the inspiration for the video. And then after that, man, like you were in a lot of them. I don't know how many you were. You were Happy Gilmore in one of them. What was your favorite video that we would do in the clubhouse?
Probably the Limp Bizkit one, to be honest. That was so fun. Yeah.
We did a couple of those.
Partially your makeup, you just absolutely killed. I mean,
I was the guy that had like white painted face, and so I think I just got baby powder, right, and threw it all over my face.
I believe so.
I think so.
But you made the turn where you're like, you just absolutely killed it. It was proactive for that 2 seconds. It was amazing.
Oh man, we did stuff in spring training. You were one of my greatest actors, man. I remember we did one at an airport because we had a layover, and you and Josh Hader did one. I think it was Meet the Parents, and Josh Hader was the lady behind the desk just tapping.
You're in luck. There is room. And without a Saturday stay over, that fare difference will be $1,137.11. Did you want me to book you the seat?
Okay.
Did you want to check any bags today?
I went back and looked and just trying to get an idea of how many you were in, but man, I always appreciate you being willing to be a part of those productions, because you do have a lot of time, downtime in the clubhouse.
Oh yeah.
And, to kind of break up the monotony, I think that's what all those videos are for. And I'm going to include some of these videos into this podcast thing. But let's jump ahead. You played for 8 seasons, and I looked this up too. Career batting average, .294. Pretty impressive stuff. Tell me about getting the call. Boom, you're going to the big leagues with the Brewers.
So that was the cool thing, is I hit 2 home runs that day, and I was just locked in. So we were down in Round Rock, and the wind was in favor. Good day to hit, right? And I knew what I was doing. I knew where my swing was. He had a lefty pitch, and I knew what he was going to throw, and I just executed, and I had 2 home runs. So already I'm like, I'm rocking. So get back in the clubhouse, and Skip, manager suite, walks in and goes, "Everybody listen up," gave a little speech like, "Nate Holt, you're going to the big leagues." Yeah. I got something to say. Yeah. So
crazy.
that was the really cool part, was all the guys were there with me. And so he announced it right in front of everybody. And all the guys are jumping and throwing beer or whatever on me,
that was me.
Just having or water,
Yeah.
orange juice,
Milk,
healthy
soda.
things.
Yogurt. You can put candy bars in the freezer.
Anything that you want to keep cool.
Yeah. So to get to do that with all of the guys there, to me, it couldn't have made it better, because that's what the journey's all about. And talking to you about the clubhouse, and I mean, just the people will have no idea that like 3:30 bus to the airport, and the amount of laughs that are shared at the airport at about 5:30 in the morning with a jet bandy on the team. You know what I mean? So as bad as some of these things are, the guys in the clubhouse make it just the best experience ever. And so to get to celebrate with all those guys was just absolutely priceless, and it couldn't have came at a better time. And I'm very thankful I wasn't like at the hotel later by myself and got a call, which I would have taken it. Yeah. But to get to celebrate with all the guys just was a magical little experience. So
that is really cool. Yeah. And to, not everything's going to happen when you're at home in your home park, like I have memories all across, especially the Pacific Coast League, because I was in the league for like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
In AAA. But like I have in Round Rock, I got picked up at an independent ball in 2013, I think. And I was in Pennsylvania, and I had to meet the team in Round Rock. So
wow.
There's stories. Every player is going to have that. But now that clubhouse is always solidified in your mind because of that moment getting called up. And did you go straight to the airport, or did you have to fly to Colorado Springs, or you go straight to Milwaukee?
Straight to Milwaukee the next morning, and it was one of those, you sleep, maybe a solid 2 hours that night, and wake up and fly up there, and then I think they had it was a day game, or it was a little earlier too, so there's no time to spare, and just got it cooking right away. So
hang with them. And then July 4th, you had a big day. Tell me about July 4th.
I think that's the day I hit my homer there. So you probably don't know this or remember, but in my debut, I had a bases loaded, 2 outs, and a 3-1 count, and later in the game, and I flew out up to the wall.
Really? I didn't know that.
So yes. So again, thought I executed perfectly. I had it all full control of my swing at the time. Executed, fastball up. I just kind of poked it, tried to lay a little barrel on it. And for a split second, I was like, "You just hit a grand slam for your first hit ever." And then he caught it. And I was like, it's never that easy in baseball, right? So that was kind of magical in itself, just because the game is so hard, and it rewards you so big, and it just takes your soul away, But then it rewards you, So a couple of days later, looking for my first hit, it was against Jose Barrios. I got down 0-2 count. And I'd faced him in Double-A, so I knew his stuff a little bit. But it's the finite moment that baseball pushes us to, where I go, all right, this guy's not going to get me out. And I'm like, I'm going to win this at bat. Let's go. And you just settle in, and you hit that different gear, right? And then that's when you execute, and the game rewards you. It fascinates me how difficult it is, but the underlying reward, it comes to people who get after it and work the right way, and they're highly competitive, and that's kind of the beauty of the game, right?
And then you get Snickers bars once you do magical stuff in the big leagues. That's what happens.
Shout out Snickers. I haven't had one in a while.
I know, me neither.
But I am a little hungry.
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Oh, come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby. Eat a Snickers.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Well, my kids, they bring home like Halloween candy, so those Snickers get eaten pretty good.
Absolutely.
I remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, but one year we were at home in Colorado Springs, and we turned a double play. I was on the mound, and Orlando Arcia was playing shortstop. You're playing second. And Arcia just keeps telling me to throw a fastball. He's like, fastball, he's fast. And then he looked over you and said something. And then literally the next pitch was a double play.
What a privilege to play around a mind like that and people who understand the game like that, correct?
Yeah. But is it not that he told you he was going to have to flip you the ball with his glove or something like that and be ready to? Yeah, because it was one of the best double plays. Ball gets by me, but Arcia,
he said, "Be ready, Poppy," and he did a little like a faint little flip, and then I didn't know he called that pitch.
Yeah, he told me to throw a fastball. I must have known the guy. I throw a fastball down. I think he said throw a fastball down or away or something. Ground ball to him, kind of slow roller maybe, and he just takes it with his glove and flips it. And I think you barehanded it, and we got out of the inning. Double play, and I was like,
and he probably said "too easy, Poppy" on the way off.
He was the first one in the dugout.
Was for him.
He was the first one in the dugout. And I was just like, I was mesmerized because he told me the pitch, and you're sitting there like, dude, he just told me this was going to happen. I love moments like that, man. We had a chance to play with some pretty amazing players. What are some guys that stick out to you? Some guys that are still playing, probably that you saw some really cool stuff from.
Well, the one you just brought up, Arcia, right? So he was the guy that my first full season, he was the shortstop, when I was in there. So him and Yadiel Rivera were in the mix, and I was kind of got to work my way to be the third infielder between short, second, third. So getting to grow up playing infield around those guys. But the thing about Arcia was I'll never forget watching how much fun he had while he trained, and how perfect he was. I think nowadays with the amount of video out there, I think this generation of baseball sees how much fun guys have. But I think what you don't see if you're not in the mix all the time is how perfect the play is. It's not fun to throw the ball away. It's fun to rip it to your chest. You know what I mean? So, but seeing him have fun, because my mindset was so work. I gotta work, and I gotta catch up so much. But then to play the game with that kind of joy and enjoying the moments and having fun and calling the shots and being creative out there, And so he was a guy that, took me from just absolutely nothing catcher to, a usable infielder. Right. So he was a huge one. Some of the guys that Tyrone, obviously one of my better friends out there, and getting to watch his journey, and it was just never easy for him. And he played out his full contract, and they kept him around longer. And it's, I think that was that makes it like 8 years or something. And then he makes it to the big leagues, and he's still there. Right. And it's those guys that find a way to offer such a value to their team to help them win, that are the guys that stay around. And I just absolutely love that. I love everything about winning, playing to win, highly competitive. And so, guys like that just couldn't be happier. And then I'll give you one more little story here, because it always comes in my mind and is on my heart when I work with kids. I was living with Tyrone and Garrett Cooper, in spring training, when they both kind of made the decision to say, like, how do I filter these words? To say, like, screw it, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, that was, I think it was probably 2017, whenever Cooper got traded over, but he went off, and that came from an aggression, and I'm going to just try to crush every ball I see. And these were the conversations being had in spring training. And he went off, and he had like 80 something RBIs in the first half, traded straight to the Yankees, straight to Yankee Stadium, I think against the Red Sox for like on a Friday night, the biggest, and before that, he didn't have the greatest name in the organization. And so to get to see guys make that switch, and Tyrone as well, it started putting up homer numbers, and his careers kind of took off from there. So I just think it's just an ode to the player who like goes for it and out of a competitive spirit. And I'm going to do this and really trying to maximize who they are, and kind of being fed up with maybe not maximizing who they are. And then, so when those kind of guys get rewarded, which it seems like that's who the game rewards, right? It's just awesome. And I always kind of feel like if there's one thing I could tell these younger players, it's kind of that, like, go for it. Like, your day's going to come where it ends. Like, how do you want it to go? Like, how do you want it to end? Do you want it to end like, hey man, I decided one day to absolutely go for it, and it just didn't really work out? Or, play by the rules your whole career, and then it never works out. So those are some of the moments that really stick out.
And you're talking about really a mindset and willing to learn and picking up stuff from other guys. I mean, I remember Jim Henderson with the Brewers, and he's the, one of the coaches now, pitching coaches.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting around in that same old clubhouse in spring training, and he was just like, screw it, I'm going to throw as hard as I can today. And he said that because he thought he was about to get released. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was on chart duty that day in the stands. And this dude is 1 out of 3 hitting the catcher, and the others are like hitting the backstop or maybe hitting guys. But his velo was up like 3 or 4 miles per hour. And the guys that were watching, the decision makers, were like, yeah, we're keeping him around. I think you have to be able to push yourself because you really don't know what you can do. And you brought up Garrett Cooper. When we were in Colorado Springs that year, he went out early every single day and was hitting off the pitching machine and just hitting nukes. Because I would go out there, you know me, I'm there early, so I would go and I just go shag for him. So I didn't have, the coaches didn't have to go pick up, and I'd get a little exercise because I'm old. And anyway, I just watched how he worked, and he worked on hitting curveballs over and over and over again, worked on hitting curveballs. And he would hit a ball and you could hear him like, and then he would hit like 5 in a row. He did well. Then the game that day, he was mashing baseballs, and you could just see the level and the depth of work and trying to smooth off every single edge of their game to put their craft together. And then they get rewarded. You're just like, oh, it's amazing, man. It's why you play the game. Is to see what you can do and how you can push yourself and get better.
No, absolutely. And Cooper, I don't know if you remember this, but he had one of the all-time lines. I'm sure you don't, but to me it stuck out because after one of the games, a reporter asked him about balls flying in Colorado Springs, and if he thinks he'd be able to do it in the big leagues, and he said the balls fly in the big leagues too.
Yeah,
and that was it. And it was like, And that's the mindset and the attitude that you earn from putting that work in, where you truly believe in yourself, and you know what I mean, and you can knock the walls down, and you're not afraid because you put the work in. So, that quote just always was one of my favorites because, and he was right.
Baseballs do fly.
Put up a long career up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so let's fast forward a little bit. 2019, we are no longer teammates. I'm very sad about that, but I get to play in Nashville. You go to San Antonio with the Brewers. We play against each other a bunch, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but I found this. I have this. I never threw it away. You wrote on a baseball.
Oh, sorry.
And you threw it. Do you throw it across the field, or did you have it sent to my locker? Do you remember? I think you threw it across the field.
I hope I said something nice.
I'm going to read it. You got a hit off of me, and you wrote on this ball, and you threw it at me the next day. And it says, "Congrats. When I heard you were going for your 1,000th strikeout," which I have no memory of, by the way, I was hoping I could be the guy to get it. But you hung me a slider, and I bleeped on it. So sorry. Congrats. Yeah, sorry I couldn't help. Legend. And you signed it.
Oh, that's great.
I love this baseball, man. I was looking for it, and I thought it was in like a bucket in the garage, but it wasn't. It was on my shelf, and I only have like 2 baseballs on my shelf. So
that's awesome.
That's how much it means to me, man. Because you were always one of my favorite guys by far. Just the joy that you would bring and the willingness to work hard, and also the whole time being a good teammate. And so, I did give up a hit to you, and I don't usually talk to teammates that end up getting hits off of me. But yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
You're the best.
That's
dude.
awesome. I didn't even remember throwing that ball over. That was a good one.
I know, it's good. I got your signature. Or if it is time for us to play a game, it's called the hat game. And what I do is I have a bunch of topics in a hat, and I'm going to pull them out, and you're going to tell me a story about it. And I put it in a red Colorado Springs Sky Sox hat because I thought of you with the Limp Bizkit. So we've already talked a little bit about everything under the sun. There's the Snickers bars, big league homers. You got a hit off me. That was a big moment in your life, sure. But this right here, this is going to, we're going to spark some stuff that's kind of in the weeds from your career a little bit. Oh, hotel story. You got a story that happened at a hotel. You're like, this is unbelievable. Because we travel a lot.
Man.
Stay in a lot of hotels.
All of them. I love the hotel life, man. AA, I was in Biloxi And I don't know if you remember this, but the year that was 2015, and that year they were building the stadium and it wasn't finished yet. So
Oh, yeah.
we started that year with 55 straight days on the road. And so me and Tyrone got real close. So, man, I loved all of it, one hotel to the next for 55 days and playing ball with the boys and it is what it is. And then, when I got called up to AAA, I took a player's room or his bed who had been in the big leagues. And I was like, holy smokes, like the reality of how close it started to become, was such a big deal to me. And that's just from like called up, going to the hotel room and going like, he slept here, but that's a fun thing about the minor leagues and AAA especially is you start to be around some players that have been in there. And that's how I felt about you. And Pete Orr was the name that I heard from my early on in the Brewers organization, that like Pete Orr is the guy. Like that is the guy who is hard nosed, works hard, like Canadian hockey player guy.
Yeah.
Like that's who you want to be. And one day in spring training, Tim, you ready for this?
Yeah.
We were playing on the other field, but we all rode the same bus or something. And he held the door open for me at the bathroom so I could walk in. And I was like, that was so cool. Like that's Pete Orr, So,
the ultimate grinder. I don't know if anybody grinded harder at baseball than that man.
Yeah.
Very proud to call him a teammate.
That's exactly who I wanted to be. And I was, I was hoping that I could leave a mark on players that heard my name down the road too. So I strayed from the whole hotel thing.
No.
We started there.
We started it. Well, it's such a big, there's plane trips and there's bus trips and there's hotels and there's eating fast food and there's this whole other world that people don't get to see because they're just watching it on TV or they're in the stands watching the game or whatever. But it's definitely a part of the life. I forgot y'all stayed 55 days in a hotel. Yeah. That was crazy. All right. What was your walk-up song when you were?
Oh man, I had all kinds of them. I mean, by the end of it, I had reggae, just trying to keep it moving along, trying to relax a little bit and play the game.
Get the right mind space.
Yeah.
It's okay, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
You got 2 prospects ahead of you. They're going to the big leagues for sure this year, but you'll be okay. Maybe next year. That's kind of how my 2019 was. So, I had some Avicii early on. I had Tsunami, like a pretty hard techno drop concept, and high A. That was, I was little fiery back in the day. So, I like to go harder early on. So try to set some tones for the boys, and try to win the ball game. So
it's such an important thing. The warm-up songs, I would try to come up with something cool, and then you reach a point you kind of just don't care, and they pass around that clipboard right when you get break with a team, and they're like, what's your warm-up song, what's your walk-up song, and all that. And back when pitchers would hit, I had a walk-up song too. I don't know if you remember it or not. I totally forgot what I wrote down because like 3 or 4 months later, I blew whatever the inning was, gave up a bunch of runs, walk in, and Rick Sweet's like, Dilly, you're going to have to bat. And I was like, son of a nutcracker. So I was like, okay. And I go up there, forgot all about the walk-up song, and it was the fanfare from 20th Century Fox. It was like, dun, 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 dun. And anyway, the umpire was like, that is the coolest walk-up song I've ever heard.
What'd you do in your at-bat?
I grounded out, I think. No, I might have gotten a hit that time. I don't know.
Tim, I think you got a hit because you went up there with no BGs on.
No batting gloves,
Yeah, you had a pro stock bat, I believe. And
I asked Ned Yost.
I
was like, hey, how hard is this pitcher throw? And he's like 96, 97. I'm like, all right.
All right.
That means I'm not going to have a leg kick. I'm just going to turn.
See you soon.
Yeah. Hold my seat on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Hey, what do you got? What's a souvenir or like a memento that you have on the shelf from your playing days?
Man, I had a fan reach out to me a month and a half or 2 months ago who had gotten my single ear flap helmet at some like auction after the year.
Wow.
And he reached out and asked if I would like to have it. And I was like, heck yeah, absolutely. Because if people don't know, in the minor leagues, you wear a double ear flap and it's way less cool. So um, as a low level minor league guy, to get the honor to wear the single ear flap was just such a big deal. And then for it to be from playing there and hitting a homer with it, and I think, that's something that I don't have. I have a lot of stuff, I guess, like trophy or, awards and stuff from throughout the years. I don't really care about any of that, but that's like the one thing where I'm like, man, if my son can just like put it on when he's in a couple of years and just wear dad's old single ear flap around, like that's the coolest thing ever. So that's my one, I would say.
That is the coolest thing ever, man. And shout out to the fans that do that. I've had several send me jerseys over the years and things like that. I got a pink Mother's Day jersey from Colorado Springs
awesome.
that somebody sent me. So shout out to those people. It means so much to players when they come across this stuff, because as a player, you don't know where any of this stuff goes, and you're not even allowed to take stuff. I mean, I know I stole this jacket, but you're really not supposed to.
You weren't allowed to.
You weren't allowed to. I don't know how I got two of these, by the way.
I bet so.
Oh, you ever wake up and think you're still playing?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, because my body feels pretty good when I wake up. So
you're like,
yeah, those first couple of years, man, were crazy, and I think it's just interesting the further out you get from it, right? And you start to learn more and more about what was even going on at the time, and I think, nervous system wise, as a hitter, and the way that I like to prepare and train, and so it was a year-round deal. And in my last couple of years, I played winter ball as well. So, you're stacking a couple hundred games a year at the professional level, and it's a lot. And that doesn't include the training, right? So just having your mind and your brain fire in those high intense ways, with all the balls coming at you, and training again as well, and all the different things that go on interplay, and then to take that out, it gets real quiet, right? So it's a really interesting thing to, as the years have gone on, to look back and for me, I just get more appreciation for everybody that's doing it now, and for everybody that did it, that we played alongside and showed up every day and competed that hard, because it's just such a hard task. So
yeah. And it's hard to turn the baseball brain off. I mean, every once in a while, I still have dreams where I'm like, I can't find my belt, or something like that. But it's just because your whole craft is built around being prepared, physically, mentally, spiritually. Like you want to be in a healthy state of mind to get ready for the game, and everything's built towards that. And then suddenly it's not there anymore. You're right. It gets quiet, and sometimes that's not good.
Dangerous.
Yeah. All right, here's a good one. Do you have any cool off-season jobs?
Oh man, I worked at the gym, kind of the janitor side, taking care of things, folding towels, cleaning bathrooms, all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is, man. I had nothing crazy, nothing horrible. I made, I was pretty rich from my signing day there, making $500. So
100 bones, yeah. And in the minor leagues, you get paid a fortune, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Had no one ever.
Nothing too exciting. My best off-season job was going and playing in Venezuela, and, and making some money there, and hit well. And I think I lost like 15 pounds in 6 weeks, and it was absolutely the biggest challenge I ever had in baseball. But I'm so thankful I went there, got to experience it, get to see those guys and where they're from, and get a whole new perspective on the Latin American athletes from, coming out of there and coming into America, being somewhere that's not your home and all that stuff. So we're a guy like Garcia already made me comfortable, and gave me a big heart for those guys. Going and getting in the weeds with them was just a whole different deal. So did you ever play? You went and played somewhere,
went
correct?
to Venezuela, I played in Maracaibo. You were in, where were you? La Guaira, yeah. Mm-hmm. You were teammates with Junior Guerra, I think, Luis Sardinas.
2017 and Dominican in 18.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, down there, guys just keep playing. So
yeah, nonstop.
Like Dominican, I'm playing with some former big leaguers that I'm like, I know who these guys, like they're absolute legends, right? And they're still going. So I didn't hit in Dominican. I got to be honest. I did all right most of my career. Most places I went, not Dominican.
Not Dominican.
Not Dominican. It wasn't good.
Never played in the DR. I never got asked. But when Venezuela came up, Carlos Sabero was actually the guy that kind of bridged that gap for me. He was like, I think you'd be perfect for it. And he was right. Yeah, that was one of the greatest things I feel like I ever did was go and play winter ball in Venezuela. It helped me personally in just an amazing way. So I totally get it, man.
Yeah.
Sorry you didn't hit in the DR.
It's me too. Sorry. Sorry, Escogido. My bad.
They're still talking about it. Let me find it. What was your favorite type of games in the clubhouse? You've been in a bunch of clubhouses. There's a lot of characters in the clubhouse. Guys play cards, video games, make videos. What was your thing?
Yeah. When you share a clubhouse with a guy like Kyle Wren, you don't go play the strategic card game with him. So I stayed away from that, all the pluck, all that stuff. I don't even know. I wasn't a big card guy, and I think the videos were fun. Ping pong occasionally. Try to stay away from it because it would wear you down a little bit, get intense before the game. So I don't know. As my career went on, I tried to be really, really conscious of where my energy was going, and would, I think in a lot of those times I would step off and go find a wall and do some kind of like binaural beats or meditation and breath work and do all that and try to just reset and kind of keep resupplying my energy levels, because as you know, like it's just a couple hours of sleep here, a couple nights a week, a couple flights a week, and then and it's just day after day of the grind and trying to produce. So I was always pretty conscious of my energy levels, I would say, and trying to manage those. From what I remember looking back, you might remember some other things, I don't know, but
no, I was just bringing it up because there's so much downtime and you're across so many clubhouses. Some clubhouses are really small, and it affects what you can and can't do. Some of them are bigger, and it matters too, the guys in the clubhouse, like what you feel comfortable with. And you're right, there's a bunch of cheaters in the card games. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Ned and Kyle, and long list.
Do you have
at some point? I got to ask you a couple questions. All right, yeah, I'm getting the vibe you don't like talking about yourself on your podcast, but I think there's a lot that people should know. And at some point, we're going to quit playing this hat game, and I'm going to ask you a couple questions, Tim.
All right, you can ask me a question now. I don't care. What do you want to ask?
I would say people don't understand Tim Dillard as the competitor if they only know Tim Dillard as the face on TV, the old dub smashes, the entertainer, your ESPN time. You got really popular for all these other reasons and continue to do so, right? With your current job. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh,
you've been doing wonderful.
Yeah.
I think there's no better way to kind of go at this than ask you, because I can't remember details that well. But can you tell that story of the game that we went into super extras in Colorado Springs, where I watched you pitch? I don't remember if it was 5 innings, 6 innings, but at late in the game, and you came in and you're like, I'm not leaving this game.
Yeah.
And that story encapsulated the Tim Dillard spirit more than anything I could think of. But again, I don't remember the details. I got to hear it. I got to hear what happened. Fresh me up on that.
Yeah, we were in Colorado Springs. It was a night game, and we were playing the Salt Lake Bees. They were the Angels. And we go into extras, and it was actually Brent Suter who pitched 4 innings of extra inning baseball. And I don't know if he gave up any runs or not. I can't remember that, but I pitched the last 4 innings of the game. We played 16 innings, I believe. Anyway, I remember because, the other team, all the fans had left. We're just out there playing for kicks, and this is before that, they would have the ghost runner at second. It wasn't like we were just, getting out of trouble every time. And I just wanted to win. I didn't get to play a lot in my older years, right? I was just the whipping boy. They're not going to throw Josh Hader out there. They're not going to throw Corbin Burns. Hey, we need you to go eat up some innings. I was there for this reason. And so I was prepared. I was ready. And I know AAA baseball enough. I'm like, if we just keep going, we're going to wear that other team out, because they're eventually going to have to throw a position player. And that's what Rick Sweet was talking after I came out of the 15th inning, I think. He was like, hey, you're done, and I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, I'm going to finish this game whenever it ends. I was like, you're not taking me out of this game. And I was right by the batting. You must have been getting helmets on, getting ready. And anyway, they end up putting Quentin Berry. He was on Salt Lake City.
I forgot. I didn't realize that was
Quentin Berry. They put him out there that inning or the next inning, and they ended up losing the game. Jet Bandy was on that team too. He was catching. In the middle of the game, he was yelling out how I was pitching all the lefties. And I could hear him on the mound. He's like, he's going to throw you first 2 pitch sliders. And I was like, yeah, I am. And these dudes are just popping up in the infield because it's midnight. Nobody cares. But yeah, I just wanted to win, man. If you're going to be out there, you just do whatever you can to win the game. And, does anybody really remember that? No, but apparently you did.
I do. You better believe it. Because that's how you play so long. And that's one of the fascinating things to me. And I don't know your exposure to the baseball world outside of where you're at now and where you've played and all that stuff. But I've been opened up to the baseball world, starting from 6-year-old kids all the way up, right? And any one of these kids or parents, it would mean the absolute world. Their dream is to play, one professional baseball game, or if said, hey, you're going to get a pro year, like you're going to be a professional baseball player. It would mean so much to these people and kids and baseball players, like everybody. That's the dream, and you did it for 18 years, and the beauty is that's why you did it. It wasn't because I don't think you threw a 102 when you first came up, but you're the competitive spirit you had and the way you attacked the game every time you went out there, no matter the situation. You called out later in your career and kind of the position you're in, but I faced you even later in your career, a year or so after that, and you were a starting pitcher and you're going deep into games. I don't know how many innings you threw that summer, but I know you were like one of the league leaders or something like that in innings pitched, and you're striking people out and putting up a high quality starts day after day. And that wasn't early in your career, and that's one of the things I think for kids and people in the baseball world. It's how can you help your team win every day and be a stable force of a competitor to make your team better, even if it's not your day that day, right? And because you're gonna have tough days, but I think every team and every manager is looking for that stability of a player that's going to come up and just produce day after day any way they can. And then I just truly felt like that story was something that shows why and how you had 18 years as a pro. That is just insane.
Well, in that particular game, I know AAA is a little different than other levels, and I know they didn't want to waste innings on anybody else. And comes a point when the manager has to make a decision to be like, we just got to throw a position player. We just need the game over because we're thinking about tomorrow. We're thinking about next week. And we also have to think about the big leagues. We can't throw certain guys in case they have to be called up, because the minor leagues exists to help the big league club. So for me, what I thought is it's not just me trying to win the game. It's me being the one that's going to go, jump on the grenade of the game and be like, I'll wear this. I don't care. It's not about the ERA. It's about making sure these guys are healthy and rested for tomorrow. And so I enjoyed that, because one thing I always wanted at the end of my career was for people to say, Dillard just wanted the baseball. He just wanted the baseball. Put the ball in my hand and don't ever take it out. I'll just pitch forever. I was given the gift to be able to throw. I never had arm trouble in my whole career. So that was what I was put on earth to do, is throw a baseball. And so when they let me do it, and
you did it, Dillard.
I wanted to keep doing it. But no, I appreciate that, man. I just And when I got older, it was I could enjoy the game before the game, after the game, and put it in perspective. But during the game, you need to flip the switch and get it done. And I think there was times when coaches were like, man, does this guy take anything serious? And then they would watch me play and they'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah. So in 2014, when I got called up and just missed you getting called up to AA, I got called up to AAA. I pitched in a game that was an absolute nightmare, disaster. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And I came off the mound, and Rick Sweet met me at the top step and said, you can pitch for me. This is my first game there, and we had never crossed paths. He goes, you can pitch for me anytime. I will always go to bat for you. And he did. And he still does, in certain ways. So it's moments like that spark. Like I hadn't thought about that in years.
That's awesome. Yeah, really cool. Absolutely. No, that's great.
I want you to talk about some of the coaches that impacted your career? Guys, maybe people that you still even keep in contact with.
I mean, I have to start with, Bob Missick, and he was the
Infield.
infield coordinator,
Yep.
and he was who I wanted to be as well. He grinded out a great minor league career, and I don't think he ever got the call to the big leagues, but he was as hard nosed as it gets, absolute business on the field. And he's the guy that told me that that I have a long ways to go, right? And he was always honest. And the thing that always stuck out to me is every rep that I did not get my butt down, which was almost every rep, he told me to get my butt down. You know what I mean? And so he cared enough about each player that he came across that I wasn't wasting his time by him trying to help me, right? So rather than being like, that kid stinks, he's little, he has no power, he's not going to make it, he's got no shot, he just say, I'll get your butt down every time, and for that first spring training. And then it's like, you start to win people like that's respect, the harder you work. And another thing about Bob is he's one of the guys that he would come into town and watch you play, for a week at a time or whatever it was. And there was a day where, I just hit a couple of line drives, and he came in the dugout and he's like, you just hit. He's like, that's all you do. You just hit. And as the player, we don't get to hear that very often from really anywhere. You don't get, because there's always the next day. So, your manager is like, no one's telling you all these compliments because it's such a grind. It is. You can't kind of get ahead of yourself. And I think every player in the locker room, we're all fighting for the same thing. So for him, when he came and told me that I can hit, it really boosted my confidence that I can do this thing because I respected his work and what he's seen and the way he operates. So he was a very influential person for me. Joe Aralt, just the energy that he would bring to a clubhouse before and after a game, and with the spirit of going out and playing your butt off. And if you don't, you're going to get absolutely blown up for it. But if you do, he's going to be your best friend and your favorite coach, and and just the high energy. And he was a good example of the energy it takes day in and day out in the pro world to show up and get your best out there and play to win. And that was it. I was very fortunate to run across them early on. And then there's Rick Sweet. I mean, put up, 3 or 4 years with him there. Who loves baseball more than Rick?
Nobody.
Right? Just
Nobody.
day in, day out, same guy. Oh, just consistent, reliable. He loves his players more than I think is possible to love that many people. But he loves everybody and who they are, and he never just saw players as just a baseball player or a trouble guy or a troublemaker or whatever. So to get to just play for him and that many games for that many years was just an absolute privilege. So yeah, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, if I could talk for another 30 on coaches that impacted it, but I think in the pro world, I'll try to sum it up with, you mentioned earlier, the conversations you have and things you hear, but in the pro world, it's I always found it was the one little nugget that would come my way, and I would try to hold on to it dearly. Right. And from all these different coaches that you run across, and, I have nuggets from Counsell in my small time around him of essentially saying do the work, don't worry about who's watching you, even as far as coaching staff, go do the little work, right? It's all about you. You need to get yourself ready that day and just do what you need to do. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks, right? Yeah. And it's picking up nuggets from hitting coaches along the way that, Sandy Guerrero was a hitting champ over in Japan for a couple of years. And he's my AA guy. You get to be around that guy every day. And it's I remember the one nugget he gave me that I feel sent my career to another level. And is a mainstay in my system. I teach kids nowadays. So it's pulling from all these little nuggets and watching you compete and watching, the next guy compete, and the Cooper story and all these things, how many, it's is pulling all of these nuggets in to make your player and your outlook on the game. And so I think everyone you run across, and I'm in the social media world, but I think one of the challenges is it's so surface, you don't get to see the nugget behind the player and the people on TV and the people showing up to the field dressed cool, you don't get to see all the nuggets that they've acquired, right? And the work it's taken for them to earn the right to wear the nice clothes and be able to afford them, right? So I'm very thankful and just feel blessed, man, that got to play with so many different coaches and players and learn so much about the game and all that. It was such a great experience for me. And now my passion is trying to, help some kids and see if they can get more out of themselves, as I think, is the real goal, and help maximize themselves with the humbleness of knowing that it's for having a good time. It's going to end. You might as well enjoy the heck of it, play to win every day. And some of these key things that I hold dearly. So,
no, that's great. You named 3 amazing guys, but one thing that I feel like you're talking about getting the nuggets from different people and learning something is, number one, you got to be teachable, right? You got to be teachable. You can't you're not going to acquire all this stuff if you think that you know it all about baseball, and you're never going to master baseball. And that's not really the point. The point is you're not going to be perfect, but you're trying to be perfect every time, knowing that you're going to fail. That right there is pretty much called care. You have to care about what you're doing. You have to care about the practice. You have to care about the people around you. And you have to care enough about the game to respect it and know that it's played a certain way. My wife, Erin, God bless her.
My wife.
She told me all throughout my career, and she'd just be like, you care too much. Like, you care too much. And I did. I couldn't turn it off at times because I just cared. And as I got older, I cared about the individuals probably more than the result of the game. I cared about other people and where they were going, and caring about the coaches. And then you see what baseball is really about. And it's about taking, and then you get to share it. So what you talked about is you took some stuff from other people, and now you're plugging it back in to help speed guys along and not have to, and have a chance to learn from people they would never meet. And I think that's kind of what the whole baseball thing is. It's about relationships. At least that's what I got out of it, and that's what I'm hearing from you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that you're on here. I'm going to let you go. I took so much of your time. Orf, man, you were one of my dearest teammates. I'm so glad we got to catch up.
Absolutely. Same right back at you, Tim. Thanks for reaching out, and it's been my pleasure, and looking forward to chatting again. So,
all right, brother. Thank you,
sir.
That's all for this week's episode of the world's #1 most unneeded minor league baseball podcast in the world. Buses, benches, and baseball. What a guy, my guest, Nate Orf. Hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to stick around, because at the end of this long spiel here, I've attached a whole bunch of videos that he's been a part of. And so again, hopefully you're watching on YouTube. And also want to thank the wonderful people, there were 2, who wrote nice reviews on the Apple Podcast review thing. I appreciate that. Very cool. Oh, of course, you can watch it on YouTube, but you can also listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music app. And be sure to follow on the social medias at DimTillard Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for your chance to win a prize pack full of random stuff in my house that I'm willing to part with. You can also shop for DimTillard merchandise for some reason at dimtillard.com under the link Buy My Crap. All right. See you next time on Buses, Benches, and Baseball.
Thank you for tuning in to Buses, Benches, and Baseball, presented by DimTillard.
It's all the ones even seen lately. Now you wanna hate me. It's all the ones even seen lately.
Jack Link's Jerky presents Working Out with Sasquatch. What's in my gym bag? Socks. Moisturizer for my calves. Fully grown North American badger. Why? Because working out with Sasquatch is based on functional movements to build strength and speed and tallness by eating protein-packed Jack Link's Jerky. That's 100% beef. Jack Link's Jerky, a protein-packed snack packed with protein.
Glenn! visor. Roy, 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 Roy.
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run. When I got tired, I slept. When I got hungry, I ate. When I had to go, you know, I went.
And so, you just ran.
Yeah.
But I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell, but stay a while and maybe then you'll see.
So where you headed?
Aspen.
California. Beautiful.
Hey, I'm a hockey player, but I'm playing golf today.
Name?
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, the guy with the long drive. What's your caddy's name?
You guys haven't given me one yet.
Well, on the pro tour, you provide your own caddy.
Really? Ooh. All right. Hey, easy with those clubs, all right? They're antiques.
May the force be with you.
Welcome to Southwest Flight something. We're on time from Nashville to Denver. I'd like to thank the Colorado Springs Sky Sox for flying with us. This is a completely full flight.
If you can see directly below the little heart is Phillips's man bun. We're talking man buns. Anything you want to share?
Oh, man bun? Takes a lot of patience.
Billy, can you play him a little ditty with your flute?
Yeah, what is it?
It's a bird whistle.
Do you have any other instruments for calling animals back there?
Quit playing with your wingy.
There's something wrong with the left phalange, I heard. Nathan Orff will demonstrate how to use the airline sick bag.
That's so funny. Last time I heard that, I laughed so hard I fell off my dinosaurs.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Step into it, Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you. But I can carry you.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl.